Welcome to Mrs. Feighery's video number 1 for Chapter 28, Progressivism and the Republican Roosevelt. During the Progressive era, there were many reforms that took place during the period of 1890 to 1915, when it came to industrial conditions, urban life, and politics. In the beginning of the 1900s, America had 76 million people, mostly in good condition. Then, before the first decade of the 20th century, the U.S. would be influenced by a progressive movement that fought against monopolies, corruption, inefficiency, and social injustice. The purpose of the progressives was to use the government as an agency of human welfare. The progressives had their roots in the Greenback Labor Party of the 1870s and 1880s and the Populist Party of the 1890s. In 1894, Henry Demarest Lloyd exposed the corruption of the monopoly of the Standard Oil Company with his book titled Wealth Against Commonwealth, while Thorstein Veblen criticized the newly rich, those who had made money from the trusts, in the theory of the leisure class. Other exposers of the corruption of trusts, known as muckrakers, or as Theodore Roosevelt called them, were people like Jacob Riis, a writer of the book titled How the Other Half Lives, which was a book about the New York slums and the people who lived there, and the novelist Theodore Dreiser, who wrote a book titled The Financier and the Titan to attack profiteers. Socialists and feminists gained strength, and with people like Jane Addams and Lillian Wald, women entered the progressive fight. Beginning about 1902, a group of aggressive 10 and 15 cent popular magazines, such as Cosmopolitan, Collier's, and Everybody's, began flinging the dirt about the trusts. Despite criticism, reformer writers ranged far and wide to lay back the muck on the back of American society. In 1902, a man named Lincoln Steffens launched a series of articles in the magazine McClure's entitled The Shame of the Cities, in which he unmasked the corrupt alliance between big business and the government. Ida Tarbell launched an expose as well against the Standard Oil Company. These writers exposed the money trusts, the railroad barons, and the corrupt amassing of American fortunes. And they were all muckrakers. David G. Phillips charged that 75 out of the 90 U.S. senators did actually not represent the people, but represented the railroads and the trusts. Ray Stannard Baker's Following the Color Line was about the illiteracy of African Americans. John Spargo's The Bitter Cry of the Children exposed child labor. Dr. Harvey Wiley exposed the frauds that sold potent patent medicines by experimenting on himself. The muckrakers sincerely believed that the cures for the ills of American democracy was more democracy. We'll talk more about the muckrakers in our future lessons in class. And this is the Works Cited page. All images in this presentation are from the public domain.